So there's this common consensus that the hardest part of entrepreneurship or doing anything in general is just starting, just getting started. It's the fear of you making a fool of yourself, or the fear of people judging you, or whatever it is. That's what people commonly know as the hardest part of. For this video, I'm just going to say entrepreneurship. So yes, the hardest part of entrepreneurship. And although I don't entirely disagree, I believe there's a harder part that is not as highlighted as much. Well, it is highlighted, but it's not maybe seen on the same level as the starting phase. And that it's what I call the throat of purgatory, the space in between who you are, or who you were, sorry, and who you want to become. It is that space, that abyss, that feeling of nothingness where you are not who you once were. You don't have the habits of maybe a bum, lying around doing nothing all day. You don't have the habits of smoking, drinking. You don't have the habits of partying, banging girls, or boys, or whoever's watching this video, like whatever you do. You don't have those old habits anymore. But you don't have the actual material, tangible results of the person you strive to become, whether that be the lifestyle, the cars, the money, the fame, the career, the accolades, the resources, and whatever way you want to quantify it. You don't have that lifestyle yet. It's this weird period where you are just so alone, and this is honestly where I've been for the longest time. This video isn't going to be a video about how to deal with this, or how to get through this, or how to, the best top 5 tips I can give you in this video. I can't give you those tips because I've been in this period for the longest time, and I've been trying to wrap my head around how do I deal with this, and no methodology or framework or advice that I've been given or I've tried to come up with has actually really helped. But I say, I'm not going to give you an answer, but I kind of am. But it's going to be like a weird sort of answer that I'm going to give you. So just stay with me. What I want to do first is kind of just paint you a picture of what this looks like, has looked like for me, and then obviously what this may look like for you. Well, for me, I started my business journey when I was 18 years old. I started my first business with my friend. It was a marketing agency. We tried to sell leads to solar panel companies around 2022. And at that time, I was very naive about how I believed my journey was going to go. I thought that within the next 6 months, within the next 12 months, I'll be making 10K, 100K. We had this running joke about, well, that's later down the line, but we had this running joke like throughout this time, me and 2 of my other friends, that, we're going to be in Dubai, end of the year, we're going to be in Dubai. We'll be in Dubai, Oh, are you coming to Dubai? Yeah, I'll be in Dubai. I still haven't been to Dubai. But we had that running joke. But yeah, from 18 to 19, while I was doing that, around 19 to 20, that's when I first got introduced into, no, it was around actually 18 to 19, I got introduced to e-commerce, first through actually dropshipping, and then from there into Shopify and all of that, and I started getting engrossed inside that world. And throughout each of those periods, obviously I've had small little wins along the way, but every single time I got to a point in my journey where I'm like, okay, after this, I'm gonna get it. I'm finally gonna get it. I'm finally going to understand what I've been missing throughout this whole time. And once I relaunch, once I try this thing, I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna get, like, the money's gonna start coming in, the business is gonna start moving, everything's just gonna start going my way. And I would launch, I would do, product research. I'd find a product, I'll get my ads running, I would make my ads, I'd launch it for the next day, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. I'd go to sleep thinking, yep, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up, hello Shopify notifications, hello, or like profitable sales, all of that. And I would wake up every single morning without fail, 60 pounds spent, no sales, flipping £5 cost per click. What the flip? Next day, I allowed to keep spending. At some point, well, at the beginning stages, I allowed it to. I would cut it early because I didn't want to waste money. But as I just got desensitized, I understood that I just need to allow it to spend. I would allow it to spend up to like 200, 300, 400 pounds over like 3-4 days, and I would get maybe like four sales. Unprofitable, £100 cost per acquisition. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand, and I don't get it. What is the piece of information that I am missing to make this work? And it would get frustrating. It would get to me like over a prolonged period, over 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Not 5 years, but like 4, almost coming up to 5 years. It just started getting to me, and I'm like, okay, now I'm looking back at the old life that I had, and I'm like, should I just give up on all of this? Should I just quit? Should I just quit? Should I just fuck off all of this and just go back to who I was and regress into that former version of myself? But to do that, I understood that I would be going back. I would be betraying the promise that I made to myself on the 14th of September 2022. I would be betraying that promise. So I knew I couldn't go back. But when I looked forward, the goal just looked so far. The castle on the hill, it just got further and further away. I'm in this period right now, where like imagine there's two valleys. And on those valleys there's a kingdom. There's a kingdom here and there's a kingdom there. I'm in the abyss between. It's dark. I can't see the way forward. All I can see is the castle over there and the castle over there. And I'm stuck between both of them, and I don't know which one I should go towards. I want this one, but every time I think I'm getting closer, it just moves. It just vanishes further down the line. And this one over here, I understand that if I go back here, I'm betraying myself. I'm betraying the promises I've made to myself, and not just to myself, but to everybody around me who counts on me. So I'm in this sort of purgatory, this place where I can't really move forward or move backwards, or it's like limbo. Like I'm just like, everywhere I look around me, like no matter which direction I move, it's like I'm staying in the same place, and I'm trying to do stuff to move forward, but everything I try just doesn't seem to be working. But I'm paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm learning. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly improving on what I'm supposed to do. I'm taking the actions every single day that I'm supposed to be taking. Yet every time I put my actions and my efforts into the real world, nothing works. What the fuck? What's going on? What's happening? A lot of you might be able to resonate with that. A lot of you may have set up goals within the past 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years maybe, if you're watching, and you're like, I've tried everything. Nothing is working. What the flip is going on? And by the way, you're seeing everybody else around you, whether it's on the internet or your friends or whoever it may be. You're seeing people succeed, the people you started with, in whatever metric it may be. And might not just be business. It might be, one of the things that's happened with me recently is that a lot of the people that I used to go to sixth form with, they're graduating now. And it's not like I'm jealous of them. I'm genuinely happy for a lot of these people. But to me, it's like, okay, you spent the last 4 or 5 years of your life trying to start a business. They spent the last 4 or 5 years of their life going to university, taking the traditional route. Regardless of whatever you think of the traditional education or whatever it is that they do, they have something for themselves. Regardless of whatever you think about it, Prince, they have something for themselves. What do you have to show? And it gets to a point where all the internal, a lot of the people say don't validate your achievements by external factors. They should all be internal. Like, how far have you progressed? How much information have you learned? You should track your progress not by the money you've made, but by learning. And I get all of that, and I do that a lot of the time. And I hope I do. What's the word I'm looking for? Measure my success by how much I learn, not necessarily by how much I make. And I do that to a certain degree. Let's say it's like an 80-20 split, but it's 20% now. It's more like it's starting to be like, yo, okay, I understand that I'm supposed to measure and quantify my success on an internal level, but come on, just give me something, like give me something. Come on, like what the fuck is happening here? You know. So yeah, you might be able to relate to this on whatever level. You know, for you it might be uh, your career, it might be you know, fitness, it might be whatever it is for you. You might be able to relate to this. As I said before, I don't really have an answer to this. I don't really have a framework you can adopt. You can carry on into your own life and then adapt to your own situation. But what I do have is a thought that I've been sitting with for maybe the past couple of days. And that thought is, maybe this doesn't need an answer. Maybe there isn't a sort of advice or clarification or framework that is out there that can ever be applied onto this situation. Maybe this is just a period of my life that is going to suck and will suck until I move out of it. And when I look back on this period in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, I'm going to remember this period of my life as the period that just fucking sucked the most. There's no other way to sort of put it. I'm sorry, but this is how I talk to myself. This is how I talk to myself internally. This is how I speak to myself when things are getting hard and things are just not moving. I'm just like, bro, this is fucking shit. I can't keep doing this, bro. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. But I think it's funny. I'm laughing now because to me it's funny, and that's the only way I can kind of deal with this. And in 10 years, in 5 years, in 15 years, I'm probably gonna look back at this video. I'm gonna probably look back at those times where I cried. You know, I cried. I launched a product. I got up in the morning. Everything went to shit. You know, my family's, you know, saying to me like, Prince, yo, we need help with this. I'm helping them out. I'm coming back from work after like working in a warehouse. You know, that's why I'm wearing this high vis. It's not this specific high vis that I wear, but yeah, I'm using it as a representation of the period that I'm in. But yeah, I'll come back from after that warehouse shift, and then I would sometimes get off the train. I'll take a long walk. I'll take the longer way home just so I can walk silently by myself. Or some nights I would actually just cry. And I think there isn't an answer to this period of my life, but there is memory there. It's like battle scars, you know. You go into, in the olden days, they would go into war, maybe they'd get a cut in the eye, cut on the cheek, or they'll get a hand cut off. And instead of getting amputations, instead of getting fully healed, they're like, no, I want to remember this. I want to look back at this period and remember how much it just fucking sucked. How much it was just the worst. And maybe in hindsight, the feeling will be more sweet than it is bitter, because right now it's really bitter. But I don't know. Gotta be optimistic about it, I guess. So maybe you guys can also take something away from that as well. Maybe you guys can understand that it isn't supposed to be sweet. It's supposed to fucking suck. You're supposed to walk through purgatory. You're supposed to grind through this period, and nothing you do is gonna make it better. And the only thing you can look forward to is looking at that castle that's far, far away. And once you reach there, you look down at the abyss you walked on, and you're just like, wow, that fucking sucked.